Guys, we have got some incredibly exciting news today. That sign is correct. We have purchased another facility, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it, the back history, the story, and what has led up to this taking place. Follow along for this journey. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, we're standing on the 10,000 block of Jeff Davis Highway. For the last 25 years, I've been pulling into that parking lot right there as home base office. For 35 years, we have been up on Jeff Davis. Most people recognize or remember us from around here when we purchased a little bitty slither of land right next to the boat place. Kind of unrecognizable today because of all the changes that have been made, but in 1990, my dad made the decision to come up on Jeff Davis and have a location here and the original 1950s location of my grandfather's property. Since then, we've continued to grow, but right there, that little quaint office has been where we have done everything, transactions from all over the world. Started also with a little small slither of property and ended up adding 3 or even 4 parcels next to it over the years. About 10 years ago, we've been coming into cleaning systems. Cleaning systems has been here for 45 years, or was here for 45 years. We've been coming over here getting our pressure washers. I walked across the street to get chemicals years ago. We had our pressure washers repaired. And about 10 years ago, because Dad conversated with the previous owner, Steve, quite often, he said, you know what, Mr. Davis, I'm getting close to being ready to sell. Dad came over and talked to me. He said, what do y'all think? At this time, we had a carport back there for a cleanup building. We had no off-road shop as we know it today. We had no other buildings as we know it today. We had a little bitty back section that we were using for the off-road shop of one of our other buildings, but nothing across the road, no other avenues. I was beside myself. We're gonna finally have a clean shop, a clean cleanup area, service area, some ground to expand, and actually some office where we're not standing over top of each other. Everything was negotiated. I think at the time it was whatever the assessment was, what was agreed upon. Contract was written. Everything was good to go. I was literally making plans to come over here and start business. Ready. So freaking ready. Then unfortunately Steve changed his mind. Now I was a little bitter over it, to be honest, but there was nothing wrong with the man changing his mind. He changed his mind because he said, you know what, I'm not ready to retire. I don't want my guys to not have something to do. He had some family working for him. Dad said, no problem. And again, I was the one that was a little bit more upset because I had already envisioned all this grand venture. Let's show you what the back looks like. I'd watched this gate get entered every day as they opened up this beautiful shop, which of course we've done a lot of maintenance and upkeep now, painted it, watched so many things take place, literally from watching over there. Like, dang, I wish we were opening up over here. I wish we were getting started every day over here. You get something in your head. So this man made a promise, even though as upset as I was, and you know, things happen for a reason. We eventually got the land behind here. We put up showroom 1. We eventually got the land across the street. AJ, you good over there? Thought AJ was gonna fall down there for a minute. So things happen for a reason. It all does. But one promise that Mr. Steve made was, JW, I told your dad, and he came over when my dad passed. He said, JW, I'm very sorry. You and my dad had a lot of conversations. I had a lot of conversation with your dad in my office. He'd come over and hang out. My dad was a very, very routine guy. He would get his coffee. He'd check on the shops. He'd stop in here if we needed something, and he loved to chit chat. That was great. He enjoyed people. And he said, I promised him, JW, that I'll give you dibs on this building. And I was like, I know. He told me that. And a man's word doesn't go very far these days. It really doesn't. So I just assumed, you know, like everything else in life, this might not work out. But you don't find property next door to your property. So about 2 years ago, Steve closed, put a sign on the door. I'm done. Kind of like I feel like doing some days. Some days you're just done. Some days it's been enough and you can't take anymore when you're dealing with retail people. And he went from dealing with plants and corporations to having to deal with every little side the road pressure washing person or somebody that bought a pressure washer from Home Depot even. And he got very frustrated with it, just like anybody else. So he closed. He put a sign on the door. So lo and behold, we look over one day, no action, no activity, no gate being opened every morning at 8 o'clock. We're like, dang, what happened? So I reached out to Steve. He said, I gave it up. I'm going to let you know. It's not the right time yet. I might still do something. I'm not sure. I'll let you know. I said, no problem. So for the course of a year, the grass grew, the trash flowed across the parking lot. People would park here illegally. People would start parking tractor trailers here. Steve was a very, very, very clean person. So one time there was a tractor trailer sitting out here and I could see it leaking. I went over and said, you got to move, dude. He said, you own the place? I was like, no, sir, but you got to go. And he got all upset and I was like, you got to move. You know, this is not your property. And I take care of it for this man. I kind of stepped in. It wasn't my duty, but I did. The trash that gets accumulated down these roads, guys, is out of this world. But we took care of it. Tree fell down. We got it up out of the street. I maintained the property like it was mine. And I was just assuming that one day that phone call would come. And thankfully, one day that phone call did come. Steve said, Debbie, I'm a man of my word. Told you I'd call you. Here's the phone call. I'm ready. I said, okay. Swallowed real hard. I knew what was coming next. He said, you know, we can't do the price we agreed upon back then. Assessment's gone up. I said, yes, sir, I understand that. But I hope we can come to terms on something. I said, Steve, I'm not a man to name somebody's price. Tell me what you need and what you're thinking, and we'll see if it works. I'm no different than that in the car business. I've told you guys that time and time again on my videos. Name a fair price. If we're close, I'm going to tell you. If we're on the money, I'm going to just go write you a check. That's just how we do things. And he said, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Assessment's this is this, this is this. I said, Steve, that's pretty close to what I had in my brain. I was a few dollars off, but not by much. No problem. I'll get it put on paper. I'll get my attorney to knock it out. We'll get this thing done. He said, I'm going to give you the keys. It's a mess. He said, I'm going to start cleaning up. He had 45 years of accumulation here. 45 years is a long time in one spot. So it's been taking a lot of time to get to this point. We're still not completely at all ready, but we are improved. We are getting closer. And I've been carrying you guys on YouTube along for the ride. For those of you that are seeing this on Facebook for the first time, I apologize for keeping this a secret. It really wasn't a secret, but for the last 8 to 10 months, we've been working. We cut down some bad eyesore bushes, put up some palm trees. We cut down weeds and vines that grew up on that tree to where you could barely see to even pull out. It was a safety issue. We did that the first day. And then we've been kind of slow rolling, working through the county, which made us put down parking strips, gave us some guidelines to some things. As with anything, Steve got his boat out that had been parked in this bay right here. What did we determine? It was a 90-something? Yeah, Wellcraft. He bought brand new down the street. And I think it was in the 90 or in the 90s. So you got to figure 30-some years of that boat being parked in there. The trees were so overgrown you could barely see that door. Most of my guys didn't even realize it had a garage door because if you're coming this way, you couldn't even see it. You had to look for it. But let's go inside. I'll show you guys a little bit of update. Now this is about how it looked as far as the light in here before, because it was dark, dingy, no LED lights. It was kind of a mess. The walls were dark. The paneling in there. Lit up. Fresh LED lights. Fresh paint. My mom has an official office of her own that she can close the door. Mom works on a lot of different transactions, a lot of things she has to concentrate on. She handles the books. She handles a lot of the real estate. So she needs a quiet space. She has a quiet space finally. This area will be scattered with the other desk, cubicles, and other things for us to be able to fit in. Bathroom is back together and better than ever. Well, we still got a lot of decorating to do, but we exposed all these brick walls, which the part I should have started the video with was, just like our building next door, this building was built around the 1900s, and it was built with some real brick, and it was added on to, and it was added on to, and it was added on to. We did the floor in a epoxy. Got our barrel, just like we have in the other office now. We're going to do some old wood film trim out in here, so it looks a little cool. In this area here, we also exposed, because I actually put a hammer through the wall and determined, because we were looking for a wire, that we had a beautiful brick wall behind here that also is from the 1900s. And I said, we got to access this. And my vision was, I pictured a high school trophy cabinet with an old brick wall in the background. I don't know why I envisioned that. I guess that's just what I saw for all these years. And I said, that's what we need. We've got so many cool plaques, so many trophies. Different things that I wanted to try to display and show off. So now we have a cool area where at night this will stay lit up, be a nice little night light. Now to show you what the rest of the building looked like, it was kind of like this. It was rough. It was barren. It was a sight to be seen. And now we will work our way through these other areas to have a break room, to have a private office for myself, to have another bathroom for the employees so they don't have to use the main bathroom like we have now. We've got some overflow area here where we will have showroom. We'll be able to keep a car or two in this area. We'll be able to keep a piece of equipment or two in this area. We'll get these floors all epoxied, get some better lights in here. The lights are, I don't know why, they just don't work well, even though we've tried to upgrade them. So we'll get this lit up. There'll be a glass door going on the front, just like across the street. And it is coming together. So if I can take away anything from this, guys, it's there are still good people in this world. There are people that stick to their word. There are people that do what they say. And patience is virtue. Again, I was not as level-headed as I wanted to be, but I was trying to grow our business, and I was shoehorned with not enough space and not enough area and not enough ground and not enough facility to do more things. And thankfully, this finally came through. So we're going to have a lot more office area. We're going to have a lot more organization. We're going to have a lot more cleanliness. The building over there since 2000, the carpets, everything are still the way they were the day we moved in 25 years ago, because we've got so much stuff in there and so many things moving and going around every day that we didn't have time to do anything with it. So really proud to be able to announce that this was purchased and is probably 3/4 of its way through its renovation process and going very smooth and very well. And now we'll be able to look out as customers pull up, let them check out our vehicles on both sides of the road on 2 corner blocks for many generations to come, I hope. So thank you guys for supporting this little mom and pop Davis Auto Sales operation for all these years. Thanks for supporting our automotive creativeness for 70 years. My grandfather, then my father's vision for the dealership, and now hopefully what my children will carry to the next generation. Thank you guys for the support. Thanks for allowing us to embrace Chesterfield County as our home. Thanks for all that you guys have always done for us. And it's a lot of walking, yes. So there's going to be a lot of adaptation in what we're used to, because of the fact that we're used to being straight across the street. For those of you that haven't ever come in person or just see videos, straight across from the car lot, the actual exact square property on both sides of the road, and then back on this side. Not really back on that side. That building kind of eats up most of it. But it's definitely going to be a lot more walking to shoot across to here and shoot across to there. A lot more organization. We've got some good camera system going in. We've got killer surveillance, and we may end up fencing this facility over here. That's still on the fence right now as to what we're going to do there, but we're going to get it worked out. Thanks, guys, for the support. Thanks for always trusting in us for your automotive needs, whether it be the shop, sales, shipping, whatever else we can help you guys with. We're happy to do it. Look forward to many, many more years to come.